What up, what up, what up, y'all? Welcome to the Rasslin Cafe podcast. This is your homeboy, Killer K, and we are back for podcast number 5. So, let me introduce my co-host, Big Southern. What's up, dog?
What's happening, man? Just chilling.
Oh, yeah.
Glad to be back.
I wish I was chilling, bro, man. It's gonna be fucking 96 degrees here today, bro.
Ooh. Man, we haven't gotten that bad yet, but it's a-coming. Oh, yeah, that's right. Today is actually officially the first day of summer, so...
Yep, and what a way to start the summer with this podcast, man. And let's do some social media plugging real quick. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at TheRasslinCafeEP5. You can also follow Big Southern on Twitter at Big Southern. And if you guys want to send some hate email or some feedback or whatever, a love letter, you can email me at killerk at TheRasslinCafe.com. I fucked that one up. So killerk at TheRasslinCafe.com. And so today we're gonna talk about a lot of things here. We had Money in the Bank this past weekend, Raw, SmackDown, but before we do that, let's touch on some news bites around the industry, and I'll get Big Southern's opinions about some of these things. John Cena, free agent. He's supposed to be returning on July 4th. Wink, wink. I wonder why that would be, because, it's America's birthday, United States birthday, so they thought they're going to pop a rating or whatever. Who knows? But, hey, man, have you missed John Cena?
Nope.
And
not at all.
With this thing with John Cena, man, he's supposed to be like some free agent. That's what they're pitching, so, which means he's not going to be tied down to SmackDown Live or Raw.
Well, you know why they did that, right?
No, fill us in.
It was because of the ratings. And they are trying... The reason why John Cena originally was supposed to go back to SmackDown. But due to ratings issues with Raw, they are now calling John Cena a free agent so that he could come back to Raw. Since they didn't trade him off or put him on Raw during the last so-called draft, whatever it was called, Superstar Shakeup, they are talking about putting him back on Raw to get ratings up. And I personally don't see how that's going to help anything.
When thinking about it, trying to think, okay, so storyline wise, I just don't get it. So he's just gonna raise up on Raw and just be like, he got beef with this person, and go back to SmackDown. He got beef with how's that gonna look?
Well, the first thing that I know that they are supposed to do with him is he's supposed to, I guess, face Jinder Mahal at, that's what I'm thinking anyway. I guess at, either SummerSlam or, Battleground. I don't know which one, but anyway, he's supposed to be facing Jinder Mahal. And the hope they are, wishing for is that by Jinder Mahal beating John Cena, it will kind of make people take him a little more Seriously. But like I said, I don't miss John Cena. And he could just go ahead and retire all I care, really.
So when he returns to TV July 4th, which will be the road to Battleground, which I completely forgot that was going to happen, which will take place July 23rd. The rumor going around is it's going to be Randy and Jinder Mahal in a Punjabi prison match, and they haven't had one of those in years.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And the continuation continued after this past weekend and last night's SmackDown. We are recording this the day after SmackDown aired, June 21st. So let's talk about Money in the Bank. What did you overall think about Money in the Bank? I know I talked to you on Twitter, and you stated that it was predictable, and that reminded me of how I bitched and complained about how I've been bored because it's so predictable. But I don't mind predictability as long as the stories make sense, you know?
Yeah.
But the talk of the town in that locker room, the Blue Brand, what happened with Money in the Bank, Carmella won the damn thing due to assistance from Ellsworth.
Mr. No Chin.
And let's see what else happened there and then Randy Orton, that main event, which I thought was going to be the main event. It was actually the Money in the Bank that closed out the show, but I'm covering the championship match because I remember saying in the last podcast that it was going to be a lackluster match, but it actually kept me. I don't know. I was, maybe it was due to the crowd. You know what I'm saying? The crowd was hot all night, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what kept me invested in the damn thing. And the funny part about that match was, the Singh brothers were messing with Randy's dad. And then Randy came out and started whooping ass. He was out there for a couple of minutes. I'm like, the dude should have been counted out already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess even the E forgets its own rules sometimes. And, you know, we don't have to tell y'all what happened, basically, because y'all watched it. If you guys didn't watch it, man, basically, after him whooping their asses, he went back in the ring and got punked by Mahal. And now it's personal because Randy stated, like, you don't fuck with my family, blah, 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 and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which was pretty predictable, though. I kind of figured I kind of figured Randy was going to lose, you know. But I don't know, man. It overall, to me, the pay-per-view was it was cool. It was okay. It was definitely better than Extreme Rules. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah,
it was better than that. But
Extreme Rules was just like a one-match pay-per-view, really.
Yeah. And, you know, as far as the women's Money in the Bank match, I kind of figured that match was going to be first. I kind of figured that. You know, and I kind of figured that Carmella was going to win it, but not the way that she did win it. You know, although I didn't have a problem with how she did it because there are no rules. There's no disqualification, nothing. So let's go into SmackDown just a little bit from last night. I was disappointed that Daniel Bryan came out there and took the briefcase from Carmella because of how she won it. And I thought that was bullshit. Because, I mean, there's no rules. How in the world can you break a rule that's not there? And, you know, now they're talking about having another women's Money in the Bank match next week on SmackDown. You know, I think that's pretty pathetic. Although, yes, I'd love to see the women compete again, but not the same match. I mean, that match to me was done, dealt with. She won it. She might not won it in a fair way, but she won it. Just like some of these other guys who got assistance, you know, or assisted in winning the Money in the Bank. Why didn't the briefcase get taken from them? That really don't make any sense to me.
Which she did cover that. I mean, she killed it on the mic, man, on SmackDown.
Yes, she did. Yep. And that was one of the things that I did say up to. I was like, well, dang, they should have been gave her the microphone. She can actually talk. So I don't know. It's ridiculous to me.
I don't know. I want to go out on a limb here and say maybe the E doesn't have confidence. I mean, then this is what I mean by that. There has to be a reason besides the slow burn and dragging it out, because, you know, they have a month until the next pay-per-view for them. So they have to drag it out somehow, or maybe like, oh, Carmella, maybe she's just not ready yet. Because, you know, they've given the title to pretty much 98% of the people who won the briefcase, you know?
She'll get it back. I believe she's gonna get it again.
Yeah, that part about during that promo when Brian, man, he was heated, bro. When he was like, "Don't you ever bring up my baby? I'm gonna punch you in the face." So I was like, "Wow."
And he said, cool. "And I'll fire you." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, the crowd popped for that one, but it was cool seeing Brian again, and, you know, happy belated Father's Day to him. Speaking of fathers, apparently, I want to say it was either last Wednesday or last Thursday. What the fuck's his name? I just forgot his name. Kurt Hawkins. Him and his wife welcomed their first baby girl into the world.
Oh, okay.
Great Father's Day gift there to him. And so, if you want to know why he wasn't on TV, there you go. He's home with his baby. And, you know, gotta get out there and gotta feed that baby, right?
Yeah, man. Goo goo gaga.
So, yep, congratulations, Mr. Hawkins, and can't wait to see you back on TV, even though that little one right there is gonna be missing you, man.
Yeah.
So, what else is there out there? I know we jumped into it real quick, but did you hear any news that you want to share with people?
Not that I could think of right off the top of my head.
Okay. We're gonna bounce back and forth because, like I said, there's a lot to cover here. So the one major disappointment for me was the Breezango match.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to cop that Raw thing, like who attacked this guy, and then it ended up being Ascension. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was just a dang time filler.
Yeah, I mean,
stupid.
It's not like I was like, who attacked this guy? I didn't give a shit, really. I was just wondering, okay, are they going to debut a new team or something, you know?
Yeah.
What else was there on Money in the Bank? Help a brother out here, man.
Well, remember the Usos in the New Day?
Oh, yeah. The chicken
I kind of figured, you know, that was going to be the outcome.
Yeah, I think we both said that last time. Is they're gonna drag it out until SummerSlam. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I would with these guys keep walking out. I think at Battleground they're gonna have a match where it's gonna be no disqualification, no count out, and I think the Usos will cheat there to win somehow.
Yeah, and then you know, on SmackDown now they got the Hype Bros that's wanting a title shot. And before, let me go on record right now to say that I see a heel turn coming. One of the Hype Bros, somebody is gonna turn on somebody. I'm telling you. I just see it. It's written all over everything that they are doing. I believe that either Mojo Rawley or Zack Ryder is going to turn on the other. Somebody is going to turn.
People were saying it might be Zack Ryder, all because when he came back, he was all pimped up in the suit. I'm like, okay. It would make more sense for Rawley or Mojo Rawley to turn, because look at his track record. You know, he won the Battle Royal, Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and then he wasn't featured, which he mentioned, like, you know, I've been sitting on the sidelines, blah, 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 and then he lost to Jinder, and then now he lost the title match, which to me, I'm just like, okay, so they gotta fight again? I mean, they already had the title, and they already had the number one contendership, and the bullshit was, well, a lot has changed since then.
Yeah.
So the rules can change within 7 months, too? I mean, I know I'm making this all, taking it too seriously, but I'm just pointing out logic holes here, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so they're not going to win that match next week.
No.
And then, you know, I'm calling it now. I mean, I agree. Heel turn, but I think it'll be Rawley because Mr. Woo 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 is the fans love the guy, you know. So,
I don't.
The universe.
I don't like him, or really don't care for Mojo Rawley either. But I don't know.
But I have to admit though, the tag team division on SmackDown seems a lot more put together than the one on Raw.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what I love about SmackDown. They seem to have more of a focus on their divisions. You know, I mean, the women's division on Raw. Okay, great.
They got nothing on the women's division on SmackDown.
Where do you think they're headed on Raw with the women's division? Because everyone keeps battling each other. So do you think they're gonna have like a 6-pack challenge or whatever?
I don't know. They need to do something, because it's really getting to be kind of, I mean, just a waste of time with a lot of the stuff that they are doing.
Yeah, I mean, this week on Raw, the women were like towards the end there, you know, like right before the main event segment, which we'll get to here in a moment. But okay, other things on the pay-per-view, we saw the re-debut of Maria Kanellis. And her, and then the debut of her husband, Mike.
Supposed to have been Bennett, but he took her last name, Kanellis, so he's going by Mike Kanellis. I don't understand that, but okay.
I heard the reason why he did that is because storyline wise, to get heat, like, oh my god, because traditionally you should be taking women take the dude's last name, but out there in the real world it's because, hey, the E owns your name when you join. So he's probably, I heard that I'm going to use her name because I don't want them, using my name, Mike Bennett. I don't want to be on lockdown for that, which makes total sense and smart business on his part.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for her being with him, he would have been on NXT. The only reason why they brought him up to the main roster is because of her.
I've never heard her spoke before in the past because she stated 7 years ago, man. But I enjoyed her promo.
Yeah. Now, remember, she used to have the job that Renee got. Renee Young.
Oh, yeah.
And she was really good at it, but she started wrestling. And I'll tell you one thing, boy, Maria is a good-looking gal. That's a good-looking gal there.
Yeah, but, due to personal reasons, I always kind of look the other way when Mike and Maria come on TV, because it kind of reminds me of certain things, but I gotta suspend belief. I go, no, man, that ain't my ex-wife. She ain't my ex-wife, ain't that pretty. But let's see, what else was there? The Money in the Bank males match.
Yeah.
Basically, long story short, we got all right except for me, okay? I thought Tamina was going to take it. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Yeah, you sure did say that.
And what did you think about Lana's debut?
She did good for her debut. I thought she did really good, and I mean, you already know it's gonna take some time for her to really, get over like she need to. But she to me, her first match was decent.
Yeah, and SmackDown apparently next week, June 27th, they're gonna have a rematch. A lot of people are calling, back to the logic holes here. Like, so why is Lana getting? I read somewhere, on the message board, somebody was saying, look, the Money in the Bank women, they're fighting over the briefcase and how the match ended and yada 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 yada. Where Lana, she just shows up, just asks for a match, boom, she gets it. So people are like, how come everybody else won't just do that? Just skip on ahead. Hey, just go ask Naomi, can I have a match? Instead of fighting over the briefcase. So those are logic holes again, but
when Lana, the first thing Lana wanted to do is she wanted to get in the women's Money in the Bank match, which I don't understand why they didn't put her in it. I think it was pretty stupid that they didn't put her in that match. But okay, so she challenged Naomi for her belt. Naomi could have just said no. She could have been like, you what have you done to earn a title shot? But when Lana came out there and interrupted that match last week, and she basically caused Naomi to get pinned, that's when Naomi pretty much got pissed and was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to give that bitch the match, and, she could have just said, you don't deserve a match, and left it like that. But, and I was kind of thinking that, Lana probably was going to end up beating her or whatever, but yeah, she didn't. But I'm still thinking that Lana is probably going to end up beating Naomi, and she may do it next week on SmackDown. She may beat her.
Yeah, we'll see. And speaking of Lana, where the fuck has Rusev been? Cause
I don't know, but I thought that Rusev was supposed to show up last night, but he didn't.
Exactly. I mean,
and Maria and her husband, they didn't show up last night either.
Yeah, they apparently showed up after the taping and cut pretty much the same promo.
Okay, so Wait a minute. They showed up after the taping.
Yes, I mean after the show was over, they came out because after all these shows on Raw and SmackDown, they always got somebody coming out and just
Yeah, I know about the Talking Smack and because I know 205 Live, which I'm guilty of not watching. I know they usually, after that goes off, they usually have the Talking Smack thing, and I didn't watch it last night either. I usually try to catch the Talking Smack.
yeah. I didn't listen to it because it didn't seem all that interesting, um, but yeah, they pretty much came out after SmackDown went off the air and just talked to the crowd
Okay.
to kill some time while they got set up for whatever. And like I said, they cut the same promo.
Okay. So I didn't miss anything.
But yeah, I look forward to. I don't know anything about Mike Bennett. Don't know anything about his past, whatever. So I'm interested to see.
He's basically one of those guys that kind of came up with AJ and Kevin Owens and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, and he's just one of those guys that should have been on the main roster should have been in the WWE a long time ago.
Do you see him? Since I don't know jack shit about the guy, do you see him like mid card ish, U.S. title?
He may end up going way at the top. He's that good. He is that good, and it's just depending on what WWE decide to do with him.
Yeah, like the old saying goes, or I've heard people say you can't push everybody at once. So
yeah.
And we're not even gonna. I'm not even gonna entertain. I think we did already. The Ascension match with Breezango.
Yeah, that was so stupid. Yeah.
Corbin, won the Money in the Bank, and I'm going back to that because it threw me a loop. Like, why is Shinsuke out of the match? And he pretty much came back towards the end. I mean, it was like a Roman Reigns Royal Rumble all over.
I can tell. I was listening to, who was it? Was it Stone Cold? I think it was that. They have their little tidbits on YouTube or whatever, and the point that Stone Cold made, I kind of agree with it. He was basically saying that Shinsuke Nakamura basically is the Brock Lesnar of Japan. He's that dude, that unbeatable killer, the King of Strong style. And, Shinsuke, the way that they did that match, he believes that they did it right because, Shinsuke, have old boy to attack him before the match, which that's what Baron Corbin did. And once he get him, then all of them start doing their thing in the match and let Shinsuke come back, and that's what pretty much happened. And because it made it look like Shinsuke was about to win it, which I wouldn't have been disappointed about that either, because I mean I like Shinsuke, but I think Baron Corbin getting it was the best bet. So
what was that piece? Speaking of Shinsuke, the crowd was popping like a mother Canucker, man, when it was him and Shinsuke and AJ facing off, man.
Yeah.
I see that being a program somewhere. I mean, there had to be a reason why they did that.
They better do it.
Because they fought before and had, 5-star matches and stuff. But I heard, that dude was not comfortable in that type of environment. which I kind of lean more towards, what Stone Cold took. I'm like, okay, so he's unsure of ladder matches. That's why they kept him off. But
yeah, I heard that too. I heard that he wasn't really comfortable with the ladder match concept. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see why he wouldn't be. But overall, to me, that was a really good match. It was really, really crazy and brutal.
yeah, Sami Zayn was working his ass off, and Corbin
Yeah,
played a badass, during that match. So I was thoroughly entertained, man. It's just hardly ever I'm like watching a match all the way through like that. I mean, just everybody was doing their thing, man. AJ was on point. Shinsuke, when he came back, he was whooping everybody, man.
mm-hmm.
Ziggler. So it was a good match, and the entirely for the pay-per-view, I'd probably give it an 8, because I really enjoyed it, and the only match I didn't enjoy, like I said, was that Breezango match. But at least they're getting TV time, because before these guys weren't like Ascension and stuff like that. Because, back in NXT, Ascension was the longest reigning tag team champions. They come over to Raw and now SmackDown. It's like, okay, you're hardly showing these dudes on TV. So that's one of the pluses for this brand split. And aside the fact that they're getting TV time, that match did not need to be on there. It could have been given more time to another match or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go slightly under you and give them give that pay-per-view a 7. But as far as the Ascension goes, I think where they screwed up was when they made their debut in on the main roster when they came to Raw. And they started talking shit about they are better than the Legion of Doom and all this stuff. And that's when the crowd really started to shit on them. And I remember when JBL was taking that shit personal. He was like, how the hell y'all gonna come out here and say you better than this, that, and the other? And I remember when JBL gave one of them the clothesline from hell. I can't remember which one he did that to, but yeah, man, that the Ascension to me is just a waste of space now. They need to either do something with them or get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, I ever since they came on the scene on the main roster, I'm not really as maybe they're just more for the small crowd at NXT, but like you said, a waste of space. But
just like those guys, the Vaudevillains. You know what I mean? They were there for a little bit. I thought they were going to actually use the guys, and those guys were good on NXT. And they started shitting on them when they brought them to the main roster. I don't understand it, man. I really do not get it. I really don't.
As you know, the Vaudevillains are no more. It's just that one dude now. I forgot his name.
Is it? Dang, I forgot his name too. But I know he's with Impact Wrestling now.
Yeah, I'm talking about his partner, the one that was left behind here. He's playing.
Oh, you talking about the one that's still there?
Yeah, he's a crybaby character now.
Gaunt or something like that. Simon Gaunt, something.
Yeah, Simon
I forgot how his name goes.
Yeah, it was Simon Gotch. Okay, I think he was the guy that had a match. Him and his partner had a match with Enzo and Kaz, and that's when he had a scary accident where he just landed wrong on the ground. And they had to stretcher him out and stuff like that. And since I just mentioned Raw here, let's go back to Raw. The Miz and Mary C. I'm seeing The Miz. I think Mary C is just playing a supported character in that angle to get the match with Dean again, because I think they're gonna have a match with Dean and The Miz at the Great Balls of Fire, And the good thing that came out of that, since we were talking about TV time for people like the Ascension, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. You know, they're getting TV time now, which is great too, because they're going to be the henchmen for the Miz, as we started seeing on Monday during the Miz TV when they jumped Dean Ambrose.
Man, that's some straight up bitch shit, because to me, Bo Dallas, when he was with NXT, that dude was really, really good, man. And then the thing about it, even Curtis Axel, you know what I'm saying, man? That's Mr. Perfect's son, Larry the Axe Henning's grandson. This dude is actually a fantastic wrestler. I don't understand why they are not using him right. They just straight shit on this dude. I mean, straight shit on him. And the dude, he's the one who got The Rock prepared when The Rock actually came back for what match was that The Rock, was it the John Cena thing? I think so. I think it was when John Cena and The Rock wrestled those matches that they did, was when Curtis Axel actually helped The Rock to get prepared for that match. So, I mean, I don't know what in the hell they are doing with it, man. It's just really stupid to me.
I'm just glad that they're getting TV time, and the two guys who obviously have talent and creative to shit all over them. So I see who are the tag champs on that show on Raw. Who are holding the tag championships? Okay, oh yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah.
I don't know, later this year maybe, since this Cool Cut Trio is coming together. There's two ways of this going down, in my opinion. Those two are going to fuck up for the Miz, and the Miz is going to fire them. And then they're going to try to bomb on the Miz, and then that turns them face. Because they can be entertaining. If you don't remember Curtis Axel, because that was killing me, man, here and there when he was acting like Hulk Hogan.
He was doing which one? I think he was doing wasn't he Macho Man and old boy doing Hulk Hogan, Sandow?
Yeah, he was
doing
Damien. Yeah, he was doing everybody.
Yeah.
But in projected matches for the Great Balls of Fire, we saw Finn Balor get attacked by
Elias,
for quote unquote upstaging him.
Yeah.
You mentioned in the last podcast that they're gonna reunite these guys, the club.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where they're headed, because I'm just all fucking lost. I'm like, okay, so now he don't give a fuck. He lost the Fatal 5-Way, and now he's in a battle with Elias. I'm just sitting back.
Well, you already since Braun Strowman got hurt and everything, and they had to kind of back away from some of the stuff that they were doing. Because I'm sure that Finn Balor is going to end up getting a title shot against Brock or whatever, but because Samoa Joe wasn't supposed to be the one going into it this time. It was supposed to have been Braun Strowman, but they didn't think that Braun Strowman was going to make it back before. They didn't think he was going to be ready for Great Balls of Fire, so that's why they put Samoa Joe in that because that 5-man match, that actually wasn't supposed to happen. That pretty much got put together because of Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah, I mean, because basically that Fatal 5-Way match was all the matches that they had for Extreme Rules. They just threw it all into one. I mean, because It should have been Seth and Samoa, and
Yep.
and they just, instead of individual matches, they just put it all together, which it was. I'm kind of glad they did that, because I think that would make that match save the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like how Braun Strowman returned, though. That was kind of cheesy. Showing up in the ambulance and coming out and doing his screaming thing, and then.
But I'm gonna tell you, I called that too, because me and my wife was watching or whatever, and I told her, I said, Braun Strowman is going to show up tonight. Watch what I tell you. Sure enough, here he come. And when I heard the ambulance, I was like, I said, that's Braun Strowman. They're gonna have an ambulance match, and that's exactly what they did.
And I'm projecting that, Strowman will go over Roman, and then, which will give him momentum to SummerSlam to face Brock, which means Brock will defeat Samoa Joe, which is sad, man, because Samoa Joe's been on the fucking roll. He deserves a run with that title, man.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody is going to get that belt at all this year. I think Brock is going to hold that belt until WrestleMania, and then they're going to mess around and give it to Roman Reigns. And I mean, I don't understand that. I really do not get that. Because I heard that they were going to try to do a lengthy feud between Joe and Brock. But how in the world are they going to do that unless they are going to put Braun and Roman Reigns against each other again at SummerSlam, and Joe go against Brock again? I mean, I don't know, man. It's just I don't understand it. I'm not even following what they are doing at all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it just seems like Raw. You got to sit there and pick your brain, like, where are they going with this? Which is great, because you don't want to know everything. I mean, it'd be kind of boring, but whereas SmackDown, it's a little bit easier to follow. Okay, a little bit easier, not much, and for me. But so Roman, his major announcement was he's the number one contender, and he's challenging the winner of the match from Great Balls of Fire. And I don't think, and I was thinking about this, I'm like, they want to save that match for WrestleMania, so there has to be a reason to keep them apart. I don't see, somebody's going to fuck with Roman, and then Roman's going to have a match with that person at SummerSlam, and then, so that frees up, what the fuck's his name? The guy that just returned, Strowman, to go against Brock. So I'm thinking someone is gonna not cost Roman the match, but I think the following Monday, the day after that pay-per-view, I think someone's gonna come out, and then they're gonna have a program with Roman up and, to finish at SummerSlam. They have to keep him away. That's what they're trying to do and want to do. They want to keep these two apart until, like, the road to WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Okay, so my question is, how in the hell does Roman Reigns, how is he the number one contender? That's my question. What did he do to become the number one contender?
Well, like he stated on Monday, he defeated all these people, and you said that you knew that he was returning on Monday, and I kind of had a feeling he was returning as well, because when Roman called him out, like, I'm the one that put him on a commission, blah blah blah, that's normally like a hint, like, okay, someone's coming back. But in his eyes, he's probably thinking, okay, I retired Undertaker, so that made me number one contender. I put Strowman on the shelf. That's his justification. But I see what you're talking about, though. And
did you hear the rumors out there saying that the Undertaker was going to come back and face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam?
I heard that too, and his wife even posted something on Twitter about. I don't know if you saw that. I'll send it to you later because I can find it. But I guess his daughter posted something on Twitter that about how to defeat Roman Reigns. That was a cute one. But yeah, I heard that. But the dude just had surgery, man. So I don't think he's coming back.
That's what I was like. How? Why? But now they did leave it open. I do believe that Undertaker is going to come back and do something because at first they were saying that the Undertaker was retired, and then they started saying possibly retired the Undertaker.
Yeah, there you go. They never really confirmed it, so I like how they did that. They didn't concretely say, "Hey, he's done,"
Right.
So that storyline wise, there's no logic holes there because if he returns, he can just say like, "I never said I was retired,"
Mm-hmm. So that's another good thing for them to have Roman Reigns to even bring his name up too. So because I do believe now if they do let Undertaker come back and Undertaker face Roman Reigns, Undertaker gonna beat him. They are not going to let Roman Reigns beat Undertaker 2 times in a row. I truly doubt it. I don't see it happening. Because Brock didn't even do that.
And Brock Lesnar, June 26th, is coming back on Raw. Samoa Joe, he's like I said, I'm really into this match, into the build. The last time when they were in the ring together, they're dropping bombs and stuff, and we'll see how it goes. What do you think Brock's gonna do? Do you think he's just gonna sneak up on Joe and just drop him on an F5?
He's gonna do something. He's gonna have to, because Joe got the upper hand the last time, because Joe caught him with that kick to the face. And I believe that Brock is gonna. I think Brock is gonna do something to try to embarrass Samoa Joe.
Yeah, and then that pay-per-view July. So that gives to June 26th. So that's like 2 weeks out from the pay-per-view. After next Monday. Yeah, we'll see what happens though. I can't see them doing another pull apart brawl. Because that's too redundant. SmackDown, let's get back to SmackDown. We're ignoring the blue brand here. We're acting like Vince and making we're all the main focus. But what else is there? So we talked about that match, the potentially Punjabi match, and the John Cena thing. The women's Money in the Bank. Which do you think was the better show this week? SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Why is that?
Well, it's just I don't know. It's just, to me, SmackDown just got better quality far as the matches and the time that they have, they do something with it. And sometimes they do put some junk out there or whatever, but not as much as Raw. Raw put too much junk.
Shinsuke versus Ziggler, that was a really good match.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, and then Kevin Owens had his quote unquote, it's kind of like a cop of the U.S. challenge, like John Cena.
John Cena, yep.
And Chad Gable came out. Man, when they came out, I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot you guys worked here.
Yeah, because I've been wondering what happened with them.
I did hear months ago that they were really wanting to push Gable, and it seems like that's what they're starting with. But I will admit, part of me thought Gable was going to win it. But I think before you and I said that and I hate to sound all predictable and like we're agreeing on everything, but um, it's not my fault. Sometimes the booking is so predictable, and but they got to do something until Shinsuke and Owens cross paths, because I think that's the direction they're headed. But it kind of threw me a loop though. Maybe they're not going that direction because
Do you want me to tell you the direction they are going?
Yeah, which way are they
Chris
going?
Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I saw something about when his tour is coming to an end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I didn't read that headline because Jericho has a way of fucking with the internet. Surprising people.
That's the yep. And I love when he do that. I love it. I love for it to be a surprise when he come back, because you'd be like, man, when's Jericho coming back? And but and I don't think that he's gonna drop that belt until Jericho. I don't know if Jericho, when he comes back, if Jericho is gonna beat him for it or what. But Jericho do supposed to return next month.
Yeah, so if he's coming back just for the battleground, that just sounds, because I heard him on this podcast talking about his tours, and they're good up until like the end of August. So I think he might just have some time to fit in, and just go lose to Owens and then go back on the road again.
I don't know if it's now. They're supposed to be having some kind of 4th of July event. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but they usually do that. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. What day is the 4th of July on? Do you know?
It's on Tuesday.
Okay. Which is why
John Cena's coming back.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot about that. Oh man, I'm not excited about it.
No, I mean the ratings are going to be pretty low that day. And speaking of ratings, I mean Raw went back up over 3 million this week. People must have been really excited to hear Roman Reigns' announcement. But generally speaking, though, ratings normally do pop after a pay-per-view because not everyone orders it, not everyone watches it. So a lot of people tune in the day after the pay-per-view to see what happened.
Yeah. So before we forget, I'm sure you didn't, but that stupid bullshit that they are doing with Enzo and Cass.
Oh no, I didn't forget, man. I waited towards later on because I knew you had something to say. But let me give you my thoughts, and then I'm going to play something here if I can find it. If I can find it, to support my opinion. But for a while there, man, I really thought the dude sucked on the mic. Okay, but before we get to Cass.
Oh, okay.
So, but before we go there, I don't know how to word it, man. It's just I knew there was a reason why. What's those dudes' names? The tag team that was in there.
So you talking about Carl Anderson and
no, the other
Luke
guys.
Gallows,
the tag team that was in the ring during the main event on Raw. Because Big Show was in there.
Oh, you talking about the Revival?
Yeah, there had to be a reason to keep him on TV while he recoups from his injury, but he's cleared now. 2, they really tried their best to throw a loop, but I was towards the end there, or if not halfway through, I was like, oh, it's obvious that Kaz, faked it all.
Mm-hmm.
And blah, 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 blah. And, they had to do something. Yeah, I mean, listen to your dog, bro. He shook his head like this fucking thing drug out too long.
Yeah.
He's like, hell no. I mean, even I knew it was Cash.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I think I mentioned that, like on a couple podcasts ago, it was like a HBK Triple H thing all over again. But, how many, in the E's defense, how many times have they redone a character, reused the same character but with just a different person, rehashed the storyline? I mean, originality is just hard to come by for companies these days, so that's why they rehash shit, But Kaz, I don't know. That whole storyline, but just the way it was done, like at the end there, where something about he was walking backstage and then he just kicked the box, keeled over, whatever, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? That's the best they can come up with to why?
Yeah, for real.
But let me like I was saying, I never really liked him on the mic up until this past week, and because he really came across, I enjoyed his promo.
Yeah.
On Monday, and for those that didn't hear it, let me cue this shit up, and of course you guys can go to YouTube and find it too. But
you're damn right, I did it. Do you have any idea what it's like teaming up with you, Enzo? You just constantly run your mouth about God knows what every single minute of the day. Do you know how many times I've wanted to slap you right upside your head? How many times I wanted to knock you out myself? But I didn't do it because I felt bad for you, Enzo. Because everybody behind that curtain doesn't like you. I felt bad for you, Enzo. You are nothing more than dead weight that's holding me back from reaching my potential in the WWE. You are just dead weight holding me down when I should be rising to the top of the WWE.
So that's enough right there, man. But I'm telling you, though, that was pretty damn good,
Yeah, yeah.
And
now, so let me tell you, man, my only problem with the whole situation is I believe they did that a little too early. I really do believe. Now, if they were going to do anything, it should have been Enzo being the mouthpiece for Cass, because Cass, yeah, he cut a good he cut a good promo Monday, but what is he going to do after that?
Yeah,
and I mean, he does have the look, as a badass heel. But like I said, what is he going to do afterwards? What do they have planned now after that?
Yeah, I mean, that crossed my mind too. Like, okay, he revealed himself, and how are they gonna follow up on that? I mean, there's only so many times you can sit there and repeat the same shit, because he's gonna spin off that promo for the next few weeks, and just keep on ragging on him, but that's gonna get old after a while. He's, I'm the superstar, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. He's always been that. And when he was talking about the annoyance part and wouldn't shut up and blah 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 blah, I mentioned that briefly in a previous podcast, like, yeah, to support my reason why, it's him, because there was a reason why Enzo was getting annoying after a while. During those times when he would get smashed on by the opponent, or he would talk so much, and then I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, because it's been a while. But there was a period of time there where Enzo he would even annoy me. I'm like, well, there has to be, they're going somewhere with this. But in the E's defense, it's not wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You know, even though it's predictable, they drew it out and they told a story. Even though we, you know, us wrestling marks out there,
Yeah.
you know, saw it from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
I was just disappointed because normally, you know, some teams they win a championship match of some sort, and then for them to lose it, that is the reason why for the breakup. Not many teams broke up the way they did besides Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. They never won the championship. I mean, they did, but the match was not televised. Or it was.
And yeah.
So they reversed
And then
it.
I heard, did you hear about what they were talking about possibly doing with Enzo?
No.
I heard something about them. Somebody mentioned about putting him with 205 Live or whatever with the Cruiserweight. And I was like, what? And then I was like, man, this dude is too big to be. And then I went and I looked up his weight. And no, he's not. He's just 200 pounds. So he's a cruiserweight. You know, he is a cruiserweight. He's in that weight class. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Speaking of cruiserweight, it looks like they're going towards, I can't pronounce the person's name, Tozawa. And
Oh yeah, the dude that's with Titus.
Yeah, and Neville.
Yeah,
for Battleground. And again, I hate to sound like a hater, but I don't tune into 205, so my 205 is on Raw. So
exactly.
There. But yeah, I mean, with Kaz, you know, the Big Show. Wait, hold on. First, I see those two, as in Enzo and Kaz at Battleground, and then SummerSlam, I see Big Show and Kaz. And, you know, we all know Vince loves his big dudes, and I wish they would have just gave them the tag team a run with the titles first.
Me too.
You know.
That's one of the other issues that I have. And then the crowd was just, I'm talking about mega behind these guys, man. And then you gonna pull the plug? I just don't get it. And I wonder whose idea this was.
Probably Vince, because Vince, you know, he's a big dude.
Dumbass.
So exactly. But you gotta admit, though, man, the crowd was shitting all over that, man. They were booing the hell out of Kaz. And,
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope it work out.
It seems like the real life relationships there are the main focus. You know, what I mean by that is, look, on Monday, Kaz was pretty much the main focal point. Tuesday, his girlfriend was pretty much the main focal point.
I said, yeah, I was thinking about the same thing. I was like, well, damn. You know, maybe they need to go ahead. You know, eventually, I truly believe that they need to put her with him.
They're both heels. You know, it would make sense.
Yeah.
It's like the Miz and Mary C, you know?
Yeah, but, you know, even when they were in, when they were with NXT, they were heels. And see, old girl was with them at that time. And I don't understand why they did not put her with them, you know, when they came up. And I heard that she was really disappointed about that, but she just went on and did what she needed to do. And I mean, I don't know, man. I don't, like I said, that I think they pulled the plug on Enzo and Cass a little too fast. And I saw a lot of people's comments about that, just like we have already mentioned about them holding a championship at least, you know, once or twice before they decide to pull the plug on it. I mean, I don't know.
One thing we failed to mention and the reason why I didn't mention this because I'm not much of a gamer, but Seth Rollins came out,
Oh
announced that
yeah,
he's on the cover of um
the next WWE game.
2K 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and in the past, it's like damn if you do, then if you don't, because, and what I mean by that is, in the past, people would bitch about why you putting past stars on the cover, and I'm guarantee you, I haven't looked yet, but people are probably complaining why you got Seth Rollins on there now.
Why not?
Exactly. I'm like, he's a current wrestler. I mean, you had a problem.
Exactly.
You guys had a problem before about, putting Brock on there, putting Sting on there, whatever. I mean, so Seth and Bray Wyatt, they got a program, which I thought was just ridiculous on Monday. Okay, so he walks down to the ring and Seth just punks him. I'm like, okay, what was the point? And people were saying like, okay, why didn't you do that disappearing act? You know what I mean? Like, before you came out, just turn off the lights and show up in the ring. But for some reason, he decided to walk down to the ring and get punked. But
yeah, and then he ended up with a busted lip for his trouble, and Seth ended up having to get stitches in his face for his trouble.
yeah, somebody wasn't in the right place there, apparently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Great Balls of Fire, Battleground. We got to get through July before we get to SummerSlam, and then, so what's your overall thoughts about all this, man, as far as both shows this week, which the directions that they're headed, storyline-wise?
They had some good moments, and then they had some hitting, swing and misses.
The undercard, like the Bo Dallas, where do you see they going? I mean, I'm just recapping here, and
well, if they do it right, I mean, I don't know. I can't even speak on that yet. I just got to see. I got to see more before I can say any more. So.
Yeah, but it's good that, like I said before, it's good that they're getting TV time at least. And
that's about the only good thing right at this moment. But like I said, I'm going to have to see what they do with it before I can, kind of say too much about it. I don't want to shit on it before, they before they get started.
Yeah. So I'm thinking here. The world titles. So we got Corbin, who's just gonna be pretty much teasing, his cash in.
Yeah, he's not gonna. I don't believe he's gonna cash in on Gender, because Gender is a heel. He's a heel. And generally, a face would cash in on a heel, and a heel would cash in on a face. So,
and I don't know. Do you? Cause I remember in the last podcast you said something about he's gonna cash in, but not on Gender because Gender's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you see Cena winning his 17th title at SummerSlam from Gender, and then Corbin? I know we're jumping way the fuck ahead, but do you think Corbin's gonna cash in on Cena? Because Cena, man, he's all about, now at least, he's all about putting over people. I mean,
well, from what I'm hearing, Gender is gonna face Cena, and Gender, they from what I've been hearing, Gender is going to beat him. And they just trying to do that to pretty much legitimize Gender. So I don't know, man. And John Cena, to me, shouldn't have even been a 16-time world title he shouldn't have won it like that. I think that was a slap in the face to Ric Flair, if you ask me. He shouldn't have even been. If you ask me, he shouldn't have even been a 10-time. Nothing like that. Because I mean, the only thing they really did is fed him the title. But anyway, we'll leave that alone. John Cena sucked. That's just all to it.
And mind you, I don't think AJ Styles ever got his rematch, one-on-one.
Nope.
Remember back in January, February, he kept complaining about like he never lost it, he never got pinned.
Yep.
So they never.
And he still ain't got his rematch.
So they should do AJ versus Jinder, and then have Corbin, if Jinder drops the title to AJ, but I don't think they want to waste a title run change like that, especially on a guy like AJ. Basically, to have him win the title and just drop it over to Corbin, but
oh no, I don't see that happening.
So yeah, that's just. I wonder when AJ is gonna get back into the title picture. I think the bottom line here, I mean, they know who they want to feature for Mania, but they're trying to keep everybody busy until at least January.
So let me tell you what I do see happening, though. I do see maybe Randy Orton retaining the belt, or not retaining the belt, but beating Jinder for the belt, and then Corbin cashing in on Randy. I could see that happening. And then, Corbin and Randy have a program. I could see that happening.
Would you want to see that happen, though?
Yeah. Yeah, that would help.
Corbin
a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't see Randy winning, though. I mean, because Randy's had these numbers games, but then again, would they let Randy lose 3 pay-per-views in a row?
Well, no. I ain't talking about anytime soon. I'm talking about, a little bit down the line, because you already know Randy Orton, he's still after Corbin. So at Battleground, I'm sure there's going to be a match between him and Randy.
Yeah. But we'll see how it all turns out, man. I mean, it's summer. Normally, summer, headed towards SummerSlam, things tend to pick up, because I was kind of getting kind of blase there for a minute, but we'll see how it goes with the main focal points here. Like, let's see how they do it with Kaz here. Hopefully, like you said, he dropped the bomb on this past week on Raw. Can he follow up? I predict, and unfortunately, I just see him repeating the same old shit over and over and over and over and over. First is going to be up until that match at Great Balls of Fire between the two. That, you're annoying. I should be the focal point. And then after that, I think the Big Show, I think he's going to smash on Enzo so badly that Big Show is going to come out. And then that's going to lead towards SummerSlam. And so, Vince could have his big man's match and, wet himself while he's watching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What has you excited the most about what you're seeing on the product, and what disappoints you the most? As a fan, okay? Not as a wrestling mark, but as a fan. You're like, man, I can't wait for this, can't wait for that.
I can tell you what's really exciting me is the women. I love it. I love what they are doing with the women. Although Raw is not doing as good as SmackDown is doing, I still enjoy seeing them use the women a lot more and letting the women have an equal opportunity to do things. And what's really kind of disappointing me is the direction that they are going with certain people. And I mean, it's like, for instance, we already done talked about how, let me see, Bray Wyatt for one, excuse me, he's one of those ones that I'm like, what are they doing with this guy? You know, that's some of these guys that it's disappointing me. As far as they like, okay, like I said, Bray Wyatt. They had Bray Wyatt doing real good on SmackDown, and then they messed around, moved the dude to Raw, and they are not really doing anything with him. They doing stuff with him, but it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, okay, Bray started feuding with Finn Balor, and he started feuding with else, and then they don't give the feud a chance. It's ridiculous. It's just the ridiculous stuff that's disappointing me. The most glorious thing that they have going on right now, like I said, is the women. That's it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Bobby Roode.
Oh, well, I like Bobby Roode too, but that's another subject.
Have you been watching NXT?
Ooh, boy, I haven't watched NXT in a couple weeks. I'm gonna watch it tonight though, and I'm gonna get caught up on the couple that I did miss.
What is
and let me add this on. I don't know if you ever heard of Lucha Underground, but I was gonna check that out not long ago, and of course I was in here with the Grouch, and she didn't want to watch it, so I just told her to turn it.
Yeah, I think I can't remember her name. The Japanese lady, and then that other woman. I'm such help here. Nick.
Oh, you talking about on NXT?
Yeah.
Yeah, you talking about Asuka.
Asuka, and then what's Nikki? Is that her name? Her opponent. I think they're gonna have like a last.
Talking about Nikki Cross.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have like a last woman standing match. At the next time they meet, if they haven't watched it yet. And again, I'm bad. I don't watch NXT. I should. But so yeah, then that concludes our podcast for this week, number 5. Again, there's a lot going on. But normally after a pay-per-view, they start, some of them, not all of them, not all the time, they introduce you to a new storyline or something. But in this case, it was the Kaz thing, and then for Raw, SmackDown, it was continuation for the women. But we'll see how it all pans out. We don't need to be, craving for instant gratification, like knowing tomorrow, let it play out. Let's see what happens. I just hope that they don't drop the ball. I'm happy for Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel that they're getting more TV time, and I just wish they can freshen it up. I remember, on the side note, because it just popped in my head, a while back, I think first or second podcast, we kept alluding to the draft. I don't think they're having a draft in July, because you would think they would have mentioned it by now. Yeah,
I don't think they're going to have. I think they pretty much already did what they're going to do with that. I mean, what else could they really do with it? I mean, they would just screw up even worse.
Yeah, it would mess up the storylines too. Like, okay, let's just say July, Sasha Banks pops on over to SmackDown. Okay, but she just had beef with everybody else on Raw, so now what?
But I honestly think that the draft ought to take place right after WrestleMania. That's what I believe.
Yeah, it makes sense because, Mania to Mania is like their yearly calendar.
Yeah, so, and that's where everything is supposed to come to that's the stop to basically, get rid of that beef or you go face to face and you do your thing, and after that, whoever win, they win. Whoever lose, they lose. After WrestleMania, that Monday. I believe even the Monday after WrestleMania, I believe that they should go ahead and do a draft and just send, and just so we can get fresh feuds.
I totally agree. I mean, Vince, he just reacts when the ratings are low. I mean, granted, you know what I mean, like case in point, Cena coming back, but I can't remember who I heard this from, but it's not the fact of who I heard it from, but it's just there's other things to watch, dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's better things, and when you got better options out there, and your ratings are like 2.0, barely scratching 2.5, 2.6, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Vince just turned things around. Like, okay, what if I just do this? That'll bring the ratings up. No, hell no. I mean, the shake-up that they done did, that didn't really do nothing. I mean,
but screw up.
Exactly. I mean, it made things worse, and that's subjective, I guess. You guys could tweet us at the Rasslin Cafe and tell us your opinion. I mean, or are we just too picky as fans? Because mind you, guys, I mean, to those who are listening, we're just fans. We don't work behind the scenes, of course, whatever. We read dirt sheets just like you guys, and those that don't read dirt sheets because it kills the fun, so be it. I mean, I'm not saying do it or don't, but I'm just saying that I'm a fan, and I deserve to be entertained, especially if I'm paying this fucking much money for cable.
Yeah. And the network.
I mean,
mm-hmm.
Have you watched any shows on the network lately?
Nope. Last thing I watched on the network was the pay-per-view, which I'm gonna start checking out. Table for 3. Wait a minute. Is it Table for 3 or Table for 2?
Table for 3,
whatever.
Man, but
whatever. I'm gonna start watching it. But I am looking forward to this Mae Young Classic. That's the thing that I'm really looking for. Just like the Cruiserweight Classic, that was one of the things that I did watch. And see, that's, when they bring stuff like that, I'm all in. But, I don't mind paying $9.99 a month, just to check out a couple pay-per-views. That's fine with me.
Yeah, man.
And NXT.
The Classic, just like the Cruiserweight thing last year, there's going to be no storylines, man. It's just straight like a tournament, there's going to be nothing. It's just straight, let's go to the match, win, it's going to be cool seeing just an athletic competition. Yeah,
but that, it was still good, even though it wasn't a storyline behind it. It was still really good.
Yeah, that's my point. My point is, it's going to be awesome. That's why I'm looking forward to it. Because there's times when you just want to kick back and just watch a wrestling match without no characters and yada 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 storylines, and it's just too bad that all these guys just can't be baby faces, and all these gals can just be baby faces, and not. But
like some people, you don't want your wrestling promotion to be surrounded by no personality, no.
Exactly.
You don't want stuff like that. Now, for the Mae Young Classic or the Cruiserweight Classic, that's fine. Because these are people that's pretty much like we have already mentioned, just coming for competition. So,
I just hope that the winner will show up on one of the brands, and I don't know. You may think they have enough women. I don't. I think they need a little bit more.
I think they need more women.
I think they need more women because Because how many times can you sit there and see? I mean, look at Raw. I mean, you can't. I'm not saying have a different feud for every pay-per-view, but there needs to be variety, man. It's like, how many times is Bliss gonna be fighting this person, that person? She fought Bailey twice.
Yeah.
You know, and then Sasha
and
Charlotte.
Speaking of Bailey came out there and laid her ass out Monday.
Yeah, and that was another thing that we didn't talk about. You know, where she was headed with that. Where, you know, so do you see Bailey with Bliss, or do you see, you know, I don't know, man. It's just Bailey. I just lost interest in her. Sorry.
I don't know what in the world. That's the thing that I'm talking about. The direction that they are going with some of these people. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. That's the disappointment with the WWE all around with me.
Because at first, I thought they were gonna, after the Bailey thing, I thought they're gonna go towards Bliss and Jax. It doesn't look like it now, so I don't even fucking think they know which direction they're headed, man.
Nope, they don't.
And
then since you mentioned about more women, I've already said this before too. I believe they need to do a tag team women's division.
But first,
they really need to do it.
But first, they need more women for that, though.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying about the women, them bringing more women in. That's a good thing, because they really need to do a tag team women's division, and I think that would be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
The last time I saw, this was fucking back in the late 80s. I think they called the LPWA, Ladies Pro Wrestling Alliance, on ESPN.
Oh, wow.
That was back in the late 80s.
I remember Glow.
Yeah. But, it was cool, man. Back in the 80s, women's wrestling was good and exciting to watch. But now it just seems like they don't even give a I mean, they're starting to. They tried in the past and they're still trucking along, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with that. I mean, if they can get more women, yeah, cool. Bring those tag team titles and have them defend it on both shows. But for right now, I don't think they should, because who you can fight against?
Yeah, this would only be a more women type of scenario. You have to have more women.
So who on the roster would you pair up together? I mean,
right now,
as a team.
Now, without having any other. Oh yeah, there is. Paige is supposed to be coming back pretty soon too. I forgot about that. But who would I team up? Lord have mercy. Whew. I think that Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax would be a good tag team.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, because Jax could be that badass heel to protect the chicken shit tag team partner.
Mm-hmm. Now Alexa Bliss is a tough little thing. Now she's tough.
Well, no, I'm talking character wise, because she's always trying to get the best of everyone, sneaking wins and stuff.
Yeah. So I think that.
What about Sasha and Bailey?
Charlotte and I think that Charlotte and Natalya would be a killer tag team. I believe that Tamina and Naomi would be a killer tag team. And plus they are pretty much family. Let me see who else. They have some good tag teams that they could they could do something with. They could do something with those girls if they really wanted to.
Sasha and Bailey, they would be like because.
Ooh, Sasha and Bailey would be good. Yeah, they would be good.
The energy behind that they bring to the matches. I mean, I don't know. The first team that came to my mind to compare them to, entertainment-wise, would be the Rockers. You know, like a female Rockers kind of thing, like pumping up the crowd and shit like that. But hey, we'll see. I mean, I don't know, man. There's just already 13 titles in the E. All combined. I mean, with NXT, somebody mentioned the other day, like there's only like all the champions. I think they're all heels right now. So,
I didn't think about that.
I'm like, okay, I didn't stop to think about it. I mean, because
that's true. That is true, though. But now I don't know about that because Asuka is not a heel.
A majority, not all.
Okay,
the titles. You know, like, I think they said like 90%, almost all the titles holders are heels, except for like Naomi and Asuka.
Right.
But so yeah, we'll see. It was a good week. A lot of wrestling to consume. 30 hours, 6 hours in 2 days, and then SmackDown. I'm actually amazed I made it through, but if Money in the Bank didn't bore the hell out of me, it would have been a hard time to make it through the rest of the shows.
Yeah.
But it was a good week on wrestling for me. We'll see how they follow up, and next week, the one thing I will quickly add, I like about SmackDown, they promote their matches ahead of time. You got the Hype Bros against the Usos, which the Usos will win that match. And I briefly mentioned this to you on the phone that I've been terrible with predictions lately these past couple of months, and the only thing I got right from memory was that heel turn of Sheamus and Cesaro. So
who was that? That the Hardy Boys fought on Raw?
Those dudes from Japan, Gallows.
Oh, okay. All right.
I didn't watch it. You know, I do remember I stepped out to go smoke a cigarette, and
yeah.
You know, because I just
that's about the styles with me. That's why I don't remember.
Because I was just, I don't know. I lost stock and faith in those two because of creative. And, and what is going? I don't think we mentioned now. What is going on with that tag match though with the Hardys and Cesaro? Are they gonna fight another one?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So I blame it on the Hardys, though. You know, I blame it on the Hardys. Why back to the Enzo casting? Why they sped it up and made Kaz, you know, turn heel because like, well, we can't put the titles on you guys because the Hardys are involved with these guys and yada 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 yada. So if the Hardys didn't return, I see those two having the titles, Kaz and Enzo. But I don't know. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. And for me personally, I think I'm just taking too far ahead and doing some fantasy booking and just waiting for that broken Matt Hardy to show up and waiting for SummerSlam to get here. I am not too excited about Great Balls of Fire except for that one match. I see Great Balls of Fire just being a one-match pay-per-view.
We'll see.
And I know it is, bro. I know you're excited for next Monday, right? Goldust and R-Truth.
Yeah, really.
Can't wait for that.
I can't hardly contain myself.
But so yeah, guys. The Rasslin Cafe on Twitter at the Rasslin Cafe on Twitter. You know, this past weekend I found all my shit that I wrote on the website at www.TheRasslinCafe. I was joking with Southern. I'm like, man, I gotta stop editing this site when I'm drunk, man. I ended up deleting all my shit, and then I'm like, what the hell? Okay, now I found it, so I gotta get back to writing on that. And posting stuff there, and at Big Southern on Twitter, and we hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Am I missing any other plugs? We got a Facebook that we're working on, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
And until then, y'all, we'll catch you guys for the next podcast.